Ow! Ow! That's just the way we want to start this. Hello everyone. It is 10:45 a.m. I have coffee. That weird drink that you know that I drink a lot. I've been meaning to film this video for a while now, but there's been a lot of tornadoes and I have not had the chance to do it. I got an email from Mike from Canada, and this was, I haven't read it yet, but I know what it's about just because of the title, so I'm excited to read it. And I haven't posted a video of me just reading anything that a subscriber has sent in a while, so I'm excited to do that. And let's see if I can read it before another storm comes in, because it has been storming nonstop here for the last like 12 hours. Last night Jordan was over at my house. We were watching the Cardinal game and it just gets dark, green skies, and it gets very, very calm, and we're like, uh-oh, and we turn it over to the news and lo and behold there's a tornado warning. And I have storm anxiety. I'm like, when there are storms, I'm like, I can do thunderstorms, I can do like severe storms, I can do 70-mile-an-hour winds, I can do hail, I cannot do a tornado. So he went home, he left his windows open, and that was not good. Where I live, it didn't do very much. It literally just stayed still the entire time, and it kind of rained and there was a lot of lightning and thunder, but there were no tornadoes, thankfully. And then last week on, what was it, Friday, we had another tornado warning and it went right over us. We were fine, thankfully. Hopefully everybody else is fine, but I'm sick and tired of this. I'm sick and tired of living in Tornado Alley. Like, why are tornadoes even a thing? I'm sick of it. And then last night, after everything ended and everything was calm, I'm on the phone with Carly and Jordan, and we're like not panicking anymore because we don't have to try to rush around and not die. And then I look at the weather and it shows that we could have severe storms at like 5 a.m. And I am a very, very heavy sleeper. And I was so tired last night. I looked at them and I was like, if I do not sleep through this, something is wrong. I slept through all of it. I didn't even know it stormed. I woke up this morning and I walked over to my mom and I was like, did it storm? And she was like, yeah, really bad. There was actually a tornado warning a couple towns over. And I was like, I slept through the whole damn thing. I was exhausted. I'm glad that everything is over. We're actually under a severe thunderstorm watch for like another 10 minutes and it kind of looks like it'll storm, but I think we'll be fine. I just wanted to record this before there's a possibility of another thunderstorm because I don't want it ruining this audio. So like I said, this is from Mike from Canada, and he started out saying, I hope you're sitting comfortably because it's going to be a long one, LOL. James Dean's 1955 Porsche 550 Spider. On the 23rd of September 1955, James Dean, an actor and also a huge car enthusiast and amateur racer, bought a brand new Porsche 550 Spider, which one of his friends named Little Bastard. Dean had the name painted on the car as a personal touch, along with the number 130 on the hood and doors. On the same day he bought the car, he drove it around the streets of LA and ran into his friend and fellow actor, Sir Alec Guinness, outside a restaurant. Dean was very excited to show off his new wheels, but was caught off guard by Guinness's reply. The conversation was later documented in Guinness's diary. The sports car looked sinister to me, exhausted, hungry. Feeling a little ill-tempered in spite of Dean's kindness, I heard myself saying in a voice I could hardly recognize as my own, please, never get in it. If you get in that car, you will be found dead in it by this time next week. Dean simply brushed off his friend's warning, but was probably regretting that decision a week later. On the 30th of September 1955, He was on his way to a race in Salinas with a Porsche mechanic named Rolf Wuthrich in the passenger seat. That same day, a 23-year-old Cal Poly student named Donald Turnipseed was driving home in his Ford Tudor. He entered the intersection of Highway 46 and 41 and suddenly noticed the Porsche speeding towards him a lot faster than he first thought. The speed was later estimated at 85 miles per hour. Donald panicked and stopped mid-turn, and Dean didn't have time to maneuver past. The Porsche crashed into the Ford's driver's side front fender, and because of the high speed, was immediately sent flying. Wuthrich was also sent flying on impact, but Dean became crumpled in the wreckage with his feet stuck under the steering wheel and the foot pedals. When they eventually cut him out of the wreckage, Dean had no pulse and was declared dead on the scene. Donald walked away with just a scratch on his nose. Rolf Wuthrich amazingly also survived with a double fractured jaw and serious hip and femur injuries. His left hip was so badly torn that he required further surgeries for 6 months afterwards. He also developed severe psychological problems and became an alcoholic. To make matters worse, James Dean's fans blamed Wuthrich for his death and sent him threatening letters. One of those fans turned out to be his second wife. He was married 4 times, who divorced him shortly after. Wuthrich's mental instability became so severe that on the 1st of May, 1967, he stabbed his 4th wife while she slept after she stopped Wuthrich from killing himself. She survived, and Wuthrich was convicted of attempted manslaughter in 1969. Due to his mental condition, he was sent to a mental asylum in Westenau, Germany, instead of prison. I can't find how long he was imprisoned for it, but I know that in 1979, he got a job at a Honda dealership. In July 1981, he signed a contract for 20,000 Deutsche Marks to be in a feature TV movie talking about James Dean's death, but on the 22nd of July, he was driving while drunk, lost control of his Honda Civic, and crashed into the wall of a residence in Kupfernsel, Germany. Just like James Dean, he had to be cut from the vehicle and was pronounced dead at the scene. He was 53 years old. Now we come to the car, Little Bastard. After Dean's death, the car wreckage was sold to the legendary car customizer, most famous for Adam West's Batmobile, George Barris. Barris sold the engine and drivetrain to Dr. William Eschrid, who then lent parts of the transmission and suspension to Dr. Troy McHenry. The 2 doctors then participated in the 1956 Sonoma race. During the race, William Eschrid, driving a Lotus with the Porsche engine, suddenly lost control and rolled over. He survived, but the car was totaled. Troy McHenry wasn't so lucky. His car, which used the Porsche's transmission and suspension parts, lost control and struck a tree, and he was killed on impact. George Barris began to believe in the curse after this and sold the car wreckage to the California Highway Patrol, who had plans to take it to local high schools and use it as warning to kids about the dangers of reckless driving. The car was stored in a garage, which promptly caught fire and burned to the ground. Only the car wreckage survived. One time, as it was being transported to a school, it broke loose from the trailer hauling it and struck the vehicle behind it, killing the driver. The car would continue to fall off the trailer 3 more times, crushing a driver once. Another time, while on display at a school, it fell on a student and broke their hip. Then came another incident where 2 people tried to steal the blood-stained seats and steering wheel from the wreckage, but were unsuccessful, and all they walked away with was injuries. Numerous other incidents continued to happen until 1960, when a trip back to California, the car disappeared and it hasn't been seen since. I actually covered this a while ago. I think it was like 2 years. The wind is starting to pick up, so if you hear a whistling, it's my window. There's a window right behind the camera and it leaks and it whistles. It literally sounds like a cat dying. I am very familiar with the story of this and it terrifies me. I already have driving anxiety. I already have driving anxiety, and this just terrifies me even more. And the fact that they don't know where the car is, they don't know where the wreckage went, is terrifying. Like, who knows where it's gonna end up? Who knows if it's ever gonna come up? And I do know that they were offering a cash prize reward for anybody who knew where the remains were, and nobody ever came up and said anything, so who the hell knows where it is. And the fact that it's 2023 and it disappeared in 1960, that's like what, 60 years, and it's still not found. I hope that it just doesn't show up and kill any more people, because that is ridiculous. But I just wanted to read that from a subscriber. Thank you for sending that in. And if you have any random stories that y'all want to send in, your dreams or just random spooky things that have happened to you, I would love to read it on here. So my email is mysteriesofthepastandpresent@gmail.com. It'll be in the description if you want to send anything. You can like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video on next Tuesday. Okay, bye.